Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Davies' endorsement shows PM is willing to risk progressive seats by Chip Legrand April 24, 2022, 5.01am Save login, register or subscribe to save articles for later. Share normal text size, larger text size, very large text size, 34 view all comments. It didn't take long for Scott Morrison to get the question he was waiting for. His answer told us little that we didn't already know about the Prime Minister, but plenty about where the Liberal Party sees its political future. "Why won't you disendorse her?" the journalist asked. Morrison had a choice. He had made it clear 3 days earlier that as offensive as Catherine Davies's comments were about transgender people, he wasn't going to dump her as the party's candidate in Warringah. The PM didn't need to say much more. Full-throated support. Prime Minister Scott Morrison in Perth this week. Credit, James Brickwood. Instead, Morrison raised the timbre of his voice and delivered a message carefully workshopped to reach beyond the press conference in Perth and into the SUVs of mums driving their daughters to swimming squads, hockey practice and netball training. "She is a woman standing up for women and girls and their access to fair sport in this country," he said. "I am not going to allow her to be silenced." The follow-up question was left hanging. Are you prepared to lose votes in progressive seats as a result of this? Morrison knows his full-throated support of Davies, a photogenic mother of 3 who describes transgender children as surgically mutilated and surrogacy as reproductive prostitution, will do nothing to help his party hold inner city seats under siege from independents running with the financial clout and organisational support of Simon Holmes, a Courts Climate 200 group. The calculation made by Morrison and the strategists running the Liberal campaign is those seats, whether they are held or lost, are beyond the PM's help. Davies, in the meantime, serves another purpose. Morrison is convinced that in outer suburban and regional seats where he sees a goat track to victory there are enough women who, like Davies, don't want greater transgender inclusion to come at the expense of their interests. These women don't share its transphobia. They just believe that gender boundaries are being pushed into unreasonable places. As one prominent moderate, Victorian Liberal woman observed, there was never any thought that he would ditch her because it was calculated. He wanted her because it enables him to reinforce a message that has quite significant support in growth areas. Catherine Davies, the Liberal Party's contentious candidate for Warringah. The episode will do no favours for Liberal MPs like Trent Zimmerman in North Sydney, Dave Sharma in Wentworth and Katie Allen in Higgins. All 3 MPs crossed the floor of Parliament in the interest of transgender children, in the religious freedom debate. The bigger issue is that Morrison did what he did knowing it would make political life more difficult for them. The PM this week made clear what he is willing to give up for a bigger prize. The question this raises, one now being openly discussed inside the Liberal Party, is whether a coalition government could be turfed out of its inner city electorates in Sydney and Melbourne but take enough ground in the suburbs and regions to stay in power. To some Liberals, this is electoral madness. "We want to represent the city," NSW Senator Andrew Bragg says. "These people are an important part of our history and future. Electorally, I don't accept the premise that they are gone, or they are gone because there are not enough seats to replace them elsewhere. The electoral map is very clear. It's a path we can't go down." Senator Bragg is also concerned at what the potential loss of MPs like Josh Frydenberg, who is facing an intense battle to hold his seat of Cornwall against Teal independent Monique Ryan, would mean for the party and its politics. Cornwall was the seat of Robert Menzies, and Frydenberg, the Treasurer and Liberal Deputy Leader, is considered the Liberal most capable of keeping everyone under what Bragg describes as the party's great big tent. Frydenberg spent part of this week campaigning in Sydney with Sharma, who sees no evidence that Wentworth has been abandoned by his party. "I have got no doubt the division of the party are working really hard and providing me the resources that I need to make sure I retain the seat of Wentworth," Sharma says. Josh Frydenberg with Liberal candidate for Wentworth Dave Sharma at World of Whiskey in Double Bay in early April. Credit, Stephen Stewart to other, More conservative Liberals, the future lies elsewhere. To lose Cornwall would be a huge, emotional loss for the party, but it is just a seat, said one. It is certainly not the jewel in the crown anymore. The abandonment of the Liberal Party,